came from the bottom, down below, giving them cold nights. I was sleeping on the floor. All they dreaming about is 4G auto feed, now they down below. Down below, oh. Thank you guys so much for 27K. You guys are early, bro. I'm grinding every day. I'm gonna hit 100K, bro. Next year, I'm telling y'all, boys. I just want the plaque. Once I get the plaque, I'm done on YouTube. I'm retired. Please subscribe. All they dreaming about is 4G auto feed, now they down below. I'm currently in longs right now. It's about 8 right now. We're about to hit all-time highs at this top of the gray zone. That's all-time high. I don't even know what to say. I'm cooked. Think, I trade supply and demand. If we get above all-time highs, there's nothing to trade off. So I'm kind of cooked. But I might not be, because today we took a dub in the VC this morning. And I'm about to show y'all right now. It could have went a lot higher. But man, I was in this trade for, I think, 5 hours. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is so important. This is something that will change your trading game forever. This is the clearest example of adaptability, being able to do what the market has given you and having to adapt to it. Making sure that regardless of how you trade, you are able to adapt to market conditions every single day, because this was a scenario where there was a lot of chop. You guys can see coming through yesterday, we had a huge bullish day. This was our last really stop before I really believe we were going to hit all-time highs. You can check I've said that multiple times. We struggled to get over this high, and I'll show you guys why. Finally broke above it, and you guys can see right when we did, we just started to chop. And guess what? When there is chop and there's clear chop, this is the problem. People will see clear chop. People will be able to identify this is bad price action, and they will still try to trade it. Now, guess what I did, and look what I caught. I caught pretty much the breakout, not the whole thing, but we still got a great exit. What do we do when there is extreme market consolidation? You go on the bigger time frame and you trade off of it. This was that 4-hour high that we were struggling to get over all yesterday, finally broke above it. And guess what happens? A simple break and retest. Supply and demand is the best thing to trade. If you do not trade supply and demand, you're weird. Just kidding. You can trade however you want. Supply and demand for me is the greatest way to trade, no doubt. Any index, any future, Forex, options, futures, it doesn't matter. The simple ideology of there being extreme areas of buy and sell where the big buyers and big sellers are coming in, finding those areas and trading off of them is something I think I don't even know, what? There's two things you need to understand about this. Being aware of these areas. So you are looking for, maybe not the most clean move ever, but all you are looking for in areas are extreme areas of volume coming into the market. Now, it depends on the scenario, but in an area like this where we had marked out before we broke above it, understand that that is a demand zone, that is a supply zone. Supply meaning that there is going to be a lot of sellers coming in this area, because think about this. Everybody knows that this is an extreme area of sells. Why? Because the last time we got into this area, we fell about 2,000 points. Now imagine this, anybody that's in longs currently moving the market up, once it gets to this high, will more than likely take profit, because they see, hey, this is finally an area where I'm expecting to see some sells, because last time we tried to get above it, we died. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed you need a short right here. It's going to go back down 1,000 points. It ended up breaking through. I could go into shorter detail and show you, because I got through it. I actually lost because of this zone. You can see that giant wick we had on the hourly. Price tried to get above it, sold off of it again, proving that there was a lot of sellers coming in at this high. So we were correct. But that also means that just because there's sellers there doesn't mean the market's going to take over. This is extremely bullish, and in the bigger picture, it ended up breaking above, which is totally fine. But what do we need to know from this? One, there is proof of sellers. Even, you know what? This was about 15 days ago. Still in this area, sellers are confirmed in this area, because you guys can see that giant rejection on the 1 hour. We almost had, a 50-point wick rejecting off of that high. And now, guess what? We broke above it. So what do we need to know? This is step 2 of supply and demand. Once a supply or demand zone, in this case, it was a supply zone, an area we were expecting to see sells, is broken above, we are now looking at this as a demand zone, an area where we are now underneath price. So now you'd look for an area like this to see a move up off of. How do we know this? Because before we took a trade today, you guys can see just after we broke above, we did the same thing back up to the upside. What did I say? Once an area is broken in and out, it reverses itself. Now this is an area where we expect to see buys, and look what happened. Price ironically comes back into this area where we expect to see buys now, pumps right off of it. Huge, nice bottom wick. That's such a good signal for long. Now, this was after market on Monday. Pre-market, post-market comes in. Nothing really crazy, staying above this zone. And boom, what do we see? On the 1 hour time frame and the 4 hour, which is my two favorite hourly time frames, the 1 and the 4 hour. The 4 hour time frame, you guys see tried to sell off below this zone. Once again, now that we already know that this is an area where we're expected to see buyers because it already happened literally a couple hours ago, buyers come right back in, sweep this low back up, closing above this EMA and above this zone, pretty much in a doji, which is also a good sign for a reversal. I don't really like to trade off them, but it just happened to be on our side. That's a good thing. Once this candle closed, I did not just jump in right there, and it would have worked out. I waited for price because this was an hourly and a 4-hour close. You guys will see right here. It was this close right here on the hourly. You guys will see same exact thing. Nice, huge bottom wick breaking through, tried to sell off of it. Boom, got bought right back up. Right then and there, I was like, all right, I'm looking for longs. Now, guess what? We waited for price to fall back into our area where we are expecting to see buyers. Remember, this is an area where we know for a fact we're expecting to see buyers, not only at our entry, but underneath us. We are in an area, so we are also minimizing our risk because this would have been a 70-point SL. Sorry, I moved that earlier. This was our original SL because it was the bottom of this wick. We go from a 70-point SL at this close to now a 50-point SL because we waited to get into the area where buyers are supposed to expect it to be coming in. It jumped up like 40 points right at close and we didn't get entered on this. We stayed, we waited, and guess what? We got filled on this entry. Price came down a little bit. I think we were on 30 points in drawdown, and then boom, this shit picked right back up, came all the way back down to my break even. I was 1 point away from getting stopped out because I moved my SL to break even after we came up 73 points. TP was originally all-time high at 150, but I knew at some point in the day that it wasn't going to happen. Once we actually rejected off this high, I targeted 73, and then it got to the point where it was around 2 o'clock, 5 hours into the trade, and I just took 50 points. So basically a 1-to-1, which I'm not too upset about. I think it was a super good trade, but there was a lot of people in my mentorship kind of freaking out because the trade was so long. You guys can understand everything is relative. So when you are trading off this 4-hour, off the 1-hour time frame, think about this. On the 1 minute, when you're taking trades, you're in those trades for what? 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, multiple candles. So guess what? If you take a trade on the 1 hour, you're expected to see multiple candles. And guess what? Those multiple candles are hours long. You guys see, once we bought up off this zone, I was extremely confident this was going to play out. It just took a long time, a lot of chop. Again, a chop. Remember, we expected to see chop, and that's exactly what happened. We play the bigger time frame. We have the bigger SL, bigger TP, and we got an amazing trade. We play with the right side. We waited for confirmation, and that's the most important thing, waiting for confirmation. And then we saw the continue up, and now it looks like we're going to all-time highs. Biggest takeaways here. The biggest takeaway here is always to wait for confirmation, especially on a choppy day like this. You were expected to see chop. You knew going into the market open up, and I do this every single day. Go on the hourly, go on the 4-hour, go on the 15, go on the 30, and look at price pre-market. Look at it post-market yesterday. Look for areas where you are expected to see some important moves. In this case, there is none because it's chop. But we take away from that it's chop. We're expected to see continuations of that. If the market's been open for 8 hours and it's been chopping, when market opens up, you'll see more volume, but it's more likely to chop than not. Chopping is totally normal when you have a move up like this because it gets to an area of indecision. As long as we are holding, it's good for buys because at this point, we have this giant move up. No one really knows what the fuck to do. And as long as buys pretty much stay alive, they hold above this area. I really like them anyways. We were playing with the trend. We waited for confirmation of buys coming in. We waited for it to come back down to our buy area, got in, SL at the bottom of this wick, targeted all-time highs, only close for 50. But you guys see, let me just zoom in a little bit, give you guys exactly why I chose to get out of this early. We had this initial high right here. We were targeting, again, our original 154. Then this candle came in. We were still in this trade. Came all the way back down. I was like, all right, guys, I'm setting my SL to break even. You guys can see how close it came to my break even. It was like, I think my entry was right there. And came about a point off of our break even, shot right back up. Just great entry for us, man. That's all I can say. Just really good entry. We had this really nice sell-off, and obviously if you're in a trade and you're targeting longs and you see a candle like this being above you, you take profit there. So we were targeting that for take profit, but after right here was my big exit. When I decided we were chopping, which is good for us. Chopping is fine. Consolidation is fine. This looks like it wanted to continue up. We had this nice candle come in right here. Didn't close above this. If we would have closed right above this previous wick right here, I would have been out. Or I would have stayed in to go for the 74, but ended up actually selling off of that. Once I saw this first candle come in, I sold off. I just expected to see some sell short term, and I didn't know if I was going to be in this trade all day. And if I would have stayed in it, and if I would have diamond handed, it would have been just fine. But again, taking my 50 after being in a trade for all day like that, totally okay. I'm not mad at all. Really good setup. But hey, right now we're in this trade, looking really good for longs. Hopefully I'm up 3 points right now. Woo! Trade at night recently has been something I'm doing more, and I'm gonna start doing in my mentorship more. Just looking at zones, it's very important you trade off zones in post market. Got this initial low we made, marked it out. Got this previous low we made, marked it out. Might as well mark this one out too. Now, obviously just going for this high right here. Again, I've decided that I'm going 2 minis now when I'm trading at night, or I guess double whatever my position size in an open market hour, just because you really get the most out of your trades. Like, this is a 7-point SL, but to move 7 points at night is extremely, like, it's a lot. You really get your value in points in the nighttime, which obviously comes with the blessing and a curse because it moves super slow. But I hope you guys are doing well. I'm so happy that all you guys are starting to watch these videos, get so much more interested in all this stuff. It really means a lot that you guys taking the time to watch me out of everybody. I mean, I am the best, but, you know, I'm a little niche right now. Wait till I blow up, man. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Tomorrow we got Pal speaking. I might trade, I might not. I don't know. We'll see. But we just got to play out the rest of the week, do everything right, make sure to stay disciplined, take your trades correctly. That's all you can do, and that's all you should do. Just set your orders up, let them work for you. Don't get too stressed out, and we're going to be just fine, man. I really appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.